Hello friends, this is Sharmi with the Amateur Gardener. Decided to do a video after a long time, and all I'm trying to do is replacing my summer planters with my late fall, early winter and through early spring planters. Okay, so all I'm going to use are dianthus, kale and some pansies, and I'll take you along through most of it. I had prince stud and some coleus and some supertunia in it, but the prince stud took over my pots completely. They looked really good, but it was mostly green with the color of the coleus. The supertunia kind of mostly were displaced by the prince stud, which were so prolific. I'm probably not going to do prince stud anymore in pots, but they look good by themselves. But that's it. I think only some of the coleus could manage to keep up with it. So but my supertunias in my hanging baskets did awesome, did really well. So you can see some supertunia. I think that one is the Bordeaux in the back, and I haven't fertilized them in at least a month and a half, and they've been doing pretty well. Okay, so let me take you along, and these are the plants I'm going to use. So this is some bicolor dianthus. It's mostly like very light pink to white and with some magenta in it. And then I'm going to use some yellow pansies, some regular matrix pansies and some magenta-ish kale. So they are going to go in my pots. And in the meantime, just to digress, this is my harvest of sweet potatoes this year. I just harvested yesterday and I am just curing it here. I weighed them. It came to about 48 pounds. That should last me enough through like summer of next year. They store very well for me, and this is I think this is the Beaver Guard variety. It grows pretty well in Texas. And the little scraggly ones that you see in this corner, I saved those because I'm going to be using them for my next crop next year. I did the same for this year, and this is the harvest. And all I planted was 1 6-feet birdies bed. They are similar to the Vigo beds. I just like birdies, and I planted in the smaller one, the 6-feet one. And this is the harvest, and I think I'll be probably doing the same next year. Okay, and so let me take you along the planting. So this is like one of the pots that I planted. You can see the dianthus in the back and the kale in the middle, with flanked by 2 pansies on either side. They look a little thinned out right now, but believe me, they'll all fill up. And I'm going to be doing the same in all my pots. Okay, so I had to uproot the prince stud and lost most of my soil, so I'm having to refill them almost completely. Okay, let me take you along. So this is what I'm doing. I'm using potting soil to fill up the pots first. I have 3 terracotta pots on each side of my pergola in the front. I don't usually fertilize them with like weekly or even bi-weekly fertilizer. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of biotone and mix it into the soil. All I do is just put a biotone. is what I'm going to do for watering is I have drip irrigation here. You can see now, right now it's like completely disconnected, but this is what I do. I will be connecting this back up with this T connector, and then this one doesn't have any holes. This is just a connecting conduit, and then I put this in each of the pots. And these are 3 pots, and I have all 3 going into each of the pots. And these I water typically, I think over winter I just water once a day for these ones. My drip is on a separate irrigation, and actually this area is on a separate irrigation, and most of the things here are on drip. The only thing that I have on regular sprinklers are like my grass. But anything else is on drip. Okay, these are the plants I planted today. These planters, they're all terracotta. They have been there for at least 3 years. I might do something about finishing the outsides, or I might replace them next year. We'll see. They're still doing quite okay. And then these are my Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchids, and here are my Supertunia Bordeaux. This is Russian Sage. I think this is Denim and Lace. They are doing awesome. They're falling all over. I might trim them back a little bit. They're still doing great. These are some of my veggies. The marigolds there are having a day. And then I already planted some brassica. So this is cabbage. They're doing okay. This planter is still empty. And then these 2 planters have cauliflower. Doing quite well. Okay, so giving you a look of what's going on around here. This is my front garden, which had been largely neglected over the last 2 months of summer, and now we are just beginning to start fall, and I decided to give it a new refreshing look. So took out some of the dead, dying annuals, some of the other plants that didn't make it over our summer heat, and then added a new layer of soil. And I've been planting dianthus, trying to get, I think there are 2 colors, one is purple and one is white. So I think I made like 1 row of purple and 1 row of white, a little bit in a zigzag way. We'll see how it goes. In the front you can see some verbena. These are the Superbena pink cashmere. They are screaming for some fertilizer. I haven't fertilized them at least in the last month or so. Just giving you a look around the rest of the garden. On this side, same thing here. The Superbena has been flowering, but in spite of no fertilizer. But then, as you can see, my chrysanthemums, or my mums, these are the common pink mums, they are starting to bud up. So by the time these Superbenas take a hit over maybe a next month or so, I'm expecting in the month and a half this area to be full on either sides of mums. Yeah, you can see this one a little more clearly. Okay, so let's get going. So my husband has been helping me plant, so he's going around with a drill, using a tiny drill here to make the holes, and then I'm going around popping in each of the plants. For people that are interested, we have a wholesale nursery in the Houston area that I typically go to. They're only open to retail customers on Saturdays from 9 to 12, and their pricing is kind of reasonable, at least for me. Okay, but of course it's not a flashy nursery like some of our other big box stores. Yeah, so he's gotten most of the holes for me, and I will be like, for instance, I'll be taking this plant. I'm not using Biotone here, which I typically do, and this will be fine. I'm planting it some new compost. Okay, it's mostly more of the same for the rest. Okay, I have to go there to do it. Just to let you know which variety I'm planting. I think it's called Telstar White, and the other one I have is here, Telstar Purple. I tried magenta last year. I think I still have a few flowers. Most of them have died, but this is from last year. I just let it be, and they look pretty nice. Okay, it's another day, the following day actually, taking you around what else was planted in the front. So I planted some marigolds. These are the big, light yellow African marigolds. I planted like, I think once 18 of them actually, one flat. So here they are. And then I left the dianthus I had planted last year. I put some extra compost on it, so some of them are peeping through the compost. It's been coming back for the last 2 years, so this area I'll just leave it at that. I have my roses at the back, which I had cut back, and these are the dianthus in front. It's like a magenta-ish color, if you can see what I mean. That's the color. Okay, so these are the leftover flat of dianthus that I plan to plant. I think I have like maybe 8 of the whites and I think 13 of the reds or purples. So I'm going to plant them in this area. If you can get a look, I just put some new compost, and then let's see how it does. Done. Also good to be done. Hello friends, we are back after a few weeks. since we did our fall planters and the front garden as well. And I'm going to take you around and give you a look of how things are looking after we had some rain last week. Okay, so these are the planters that I had planted. As I said, they only have one dianthus, a kale, and 2 pansies. So this is how they look. And let me take you around the second set. They're looking pretty good to me. And this is how they look. I cut back my Supertunia, so they're not flowering now, but mostly, but they'll look okay. And let me take you around. I planted some snapdragons as well, if you can see. And then I have some pineapple coleus that I've still left. I'm going to take this off, and they look really good, so I left it, but I'm going to plant some kale here as well. And this is some snapdragons here, and these are some stalk. And I had planted them from seeds several months ago, and they are looking really good now. Hopefully they'll flower, but these are the snapdragons that are here, and the rosemary that has been there for the last couple of years. Okay, let me take you around to the front. I'm getting a second flush from some of my hydrangeas. I don't know, they look good. I'm not complaining. Taking you around. So this is a gardenia, never flowered for me, but I don't want it to flower. I don't need it to flower. It looks so awesome without the flowers. Planted some marigold here. They're still lasting for us. These dianthus had been there for the last couple of years. They're doing okay. And then this is what I wanted to show you. This is my moving towards my front entrance. I cut back the verbena. I'm going to leave it there, but this is one side, and then you can see some of my fancy mums here. I love these. And then these are the dianthus, the magenta and the white alternating. And then on the other side too, I have those fancy mums. I love these. These are, I have several different mums as well. Love these. These are some of the bigger ones. And then these are just regular mums. And these also were not planted this year. I planted them like I think 2 years ago, and they come back. I just leave them under the Superbena. I cut back the Superbena, so they are doing now pretty well. And these are the front. Some pansies, I think the bluish pansies, and then the magenta and white dianthus, and some snapdragons. Yeah. This is how they look. If I take you the sun is bright right now, so it's kind of hard to see, but it doesn't look bad for a fall look. So that's it for today's video, and until I see you in my next video, bye bye.